Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
Yes, we are releasing this hopefully on October 31st.
100%.
Which is Halloween season.
It is.
And we have dressed up for the occasion.
Right.
Louis, who are you?
I am Reanimator and/or Halloween scientist, Halloween 3 scientist.
Yes.
But mainly Reanimator.
And I am dressed up with Michael Jackson's Thriller. And/or.
And/or.
No, who else is he? Who else could this at all relate to Halloween?
The devil guy who gets his face.
He wears red.
He wears red.
Wearing the color of the blood from the victims of Michael Myers.
Michael Myers.
So,
all right. Well, Michael Myers is a very influential character.
He is.
In the horror universe.
And
what are we talking about today, Leo?
Well, funny enough,
I should say that.
We are doing a. Can you guess it? A Halloween franchise ranking. That's right. All 13 films. Yes.
So many.
From 1978 to Halloween Ends. And yes, from Halloween to Halloween Ends. Oh, that sounds nice.
Halloween to Halloween Ends.
There you go.
It's not going to.
Yeah, well, I don't know. At the moment, at least. And I'm okay if it does. I mean, I'm a Halloween fan. I'm a massive Halloween fan.
Yeah,
and I'm
loves
actually
Halloween.
Okay. And Louis, I mean, you dig them, but you don't love them.
I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. I mean, let's not be negative. We like
it's my
different
favorite
movies.
slasher.
There you go. High five to that. But yes, we're doing a franchise ranking. All 13 movies. And from best to worst. This is our first franchise ranking, so we don't know how it's going to go.
Seasons ranking of Stranger Things. But
seasons
that's
ranking. Sorry, yeah. We have done a ranking before, I just realized.
Yeah, but not for a
but this is a horror movie franchise. It's going to be probably a little bit long, so thank you for sticking with us. But we also going to make it a little bit of fun because we don't want to, just be negative all the time. Yeah. So we're going to have a best kill and best actress, performer for each movie. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So when we get to it. And so why not start? Let's start. At the very bottom of our list. Yeah, we'll just talk about it. This is a accumulation of both our lists. We both have different
separate lists. We can put them. I can put them somewhere.
Lists, but we had to both be like, okay, this is what we're gonna put at the bottom. Yeah. But yes, at the very bottom we have. Wouldn't you guess? Halloween Resurrection. Yeah.
What a boring movie.
Don't love this one.
Kills off Laurie Strode.
Yeah.
Straight away. They kiss.
It's a very, I would say, it is a very kind of boring Halloween movie. I mean, it doesn't feel too much like a Halloween movie besides the fact that it's a slasher. And it's the biggest negative to it is it just feels boring. I mean, let's talk about a few little positives about it. Mm-hmm. I guess it's interesting that they're... I think it is interesting that I guess...
the house of
the house of Michael Myers, going like, oh, what made him kill? And that's kind of a cool idea. There's some commentary about, web media at the time, which was pretty new. And that's kind of...
2000s.
2000, I think. 2001, 2002, 2002, I think.
2002.
I think 2002. And it's interesting that they kind of having that commentary and...
I guess.
And points of it can be funny to watch.
Right.
But overall, we are putting this at the bottom of the barrel because it's just
boring. None of the characters are memorable. We have a side story of people watching what's going on, which could be interesting. But it's at a boring Halloween party. Yeah. Boring characters. No one gives a shit. Even
those characters, like the guy who's like watching it, he's like I'm pretty sure he made like a false profile to talk to someone, and he's just not a lovable character.
Yeah.
There's not many lovable characters in this either. I mean, and of course, I think the biggest problem with this movie is that it just really ruined the ending of H2O, and it killed off Laurie in a very. I mean, I remember when I first watched
did
it
to Michael, this did to Laurie.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I guess trailers back then probably promoted the fact that Laurie's in this movie, but she hardly is.
She's in the poster.
She's in the poster.
She's in the poster.
But I mean, it's just such a
bad movie.
Yeah, it's just not fun. They also make just fun of Michael Myers. I mean, Busta Rhymes is karate kicking him, telling him like
trick or treat, motherfucker,
which isn't great. Yeah. And I mean, I think Michael Myers' mask looks a little better than the H2O mask to me. Yeah. But it's still, I mean, and the Michael Myers performance isn't bad, but I mean, he's not very treated well in this movie. No. I mean, Busta Rhymes is karate kicking him. He's also, telling him to like, go away, I'm dressing up as Michael. And it's just...
They tried.
It is, I mean, it's being well known that this probably was like a script that wasn't meant to be a Halloween movie, but they just attached
like Saw 2.
Michael Myers to it. Saw 2, really?
Saw 2 was a different script, and they
Wow.
and
Well, that's a good
changed it.
that's a good example of doing
it being
right.
good.
But this was just plainly not an enjoyable movie. One that I hardly ever want to rewatch.
Yeah.
And,
I feel like I don't hate this movie. I just don't give a shit about it.
Yeah, I mean, and just so you know, we're gonna be talking very like casually about these movies. We're not doing the positives and negatives like we did with Stranger Things. Just, I mean, of course we talk about positives and negatives, but we're not doing like lists because we've got 13 movies. We want to get through them. Yeah. But yes, that's our bottom of the barrel Halloween Resurrection.
What's your favorite kill and the actor?
Favorite kill and actor? Yes. So this is the fun part. My favorite kill is fun. It's not a kill that I love, but it was the most impactful to me, which was Laurie's death.
Right.
I think I don't. It's not the most inventive kill, but because of how big it is, and the whole like her like flying over and Michael like grabbing him and stabbing her in the back, and the whole dramatic like I'll see you in hell and fall back.
Yeah, that was fun.
I don't like it that it happened, but all the other kills in this movie kind of feels whatever to me. Like there's some cool camera stuff, tripod stuff, but like. I think this is just the one that stood out to me the most, so I guess it's my favorite kill obligatorily.
Should we kill, actor?
Yeah, kill. What's your kill?
Mine was the only one I remembered, the tripod kill.
Yeah.
He gets a tripod, stabs him with it.
I
don't know any tripod that's that sharp, but you know what?
Yeah.
That was the only one I remember.
Yeah, I mean, that was gonna be the one, because I was like a bit nervous. I was like, should I even say Lloyd, because that's offensive, but I do agree that, best performance, Jamie Lee Curtis for me. I just Busta Rhymes I guess is funny, but I don't enjoy it. Jamie Lee Curtis does the best that she can with really shitty stuff.
Do you know who I wrote?
Who?
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers.
I literally couldn't think of anything outstanding about it, so I was like, Michael Myers is in it. He's probably pretty good.
Sure.
Yeah.
So better than Jamie, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I wrote Jamie for other ones.
I mean, Jamie's hardly in this movie,
like,
so I don't blame
the
that.
best actor in this movie.
And I guess he has a bit of character in this one, a little bit.
Sure.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, Michael Myers.
That's fair. But yeah, we're going to now move on to our number 12 pick. And this is, I know, Louis, it's your least favorite. The only reason why it's above is... Well, actually, I'll get to it. Next is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Now...
This is a movie I hate.
Yeah,
I've seen it once, and I wanted to die.
I think we both can agree that like the first 20 minutes with the hospital is kind of cool, and that is literally the only reason why this is above it.
The movie.
I do like certain elements of it. Like I know a lot of people hate Dr. Loomis in this movie. I think he's so funny.
Yeah, he's funny, but he's not a good character.
I know. I kind of enjoy that. If Rob Zombie's gonna do is completely his own thing with this one,
right? Yeah.
I don't mind that we're gonna get a new take on Loomis. Yeah. So I didn't mind it too much, and I like this. I watched this movie recently. I think like yesterday before doing this review, and I was whole ready for our ranking to have this at the bottom. But I watched it again. I was like, this isn't as bad as I remembered. It's not good. The characters are still hillbillies, like Rob Zombie films are. It's not an enjoyable watch. Yeah. It's
a lot
intense.
of swearing. It's just I'm not a fan of like. Really on purpose not enjoyable watching.
Yeah.
Of like it like screaming, constant like yelling and everyone swearing at each other, and the brutality is really gruesome and in your face, and it's like meant to go and like in a Halloween movie that's not what I want to see. I know it's being different, but that's not what I want. And I feel like this movie also Michael Myers says die or whatever at the end.
Yeah, I mean I was watching it, I realized I realized he he grunts a lot, and you can hear him,
and like he takes off the mask and he does all that shit, and which is cool, but like
I mean
I just hated watching the movie.
Yeah,
every like the dream sequences, I know what the fuck going on. It's dumb. It's stupid. I hate it. I'll watch it again. So if I will hate it less. But right now, it's my least favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, and that's a if he's saying that, it's a price that we even put at 12. So don't be mad at us. But I will say that if there is fans for this movie.
Good for you for enjoying it.
But seriously, like, it's not
bad. If you like any of these movies that we didn't like, that's fantastic. You found enjoyment where we couldn't. You have a different taste in movies. And that's fantastic.
Yeah. And it's good because, like, it's good to sometimes have diversity in a franchise that's pretty repetitive, like a slasher movie franchise.
Of course.
So if you like this, that's fantastic. It just didn't work for us, but we know it works for some people. Right, then, what is your favorite kill in this movie?
Let's do your favorite kill first.
We'll just do the same order.
Yeah.
What did I put down?
If you can't think of
Oh, yeah, the Nurse Daniels at the start.
I think no. Oh yeah.
Nurse Daniels. I think the one that has Lindsay is pretty shocking.
Who's Lindsay?
That's-
Oh right, when
that's-
the sheriff opens the door and she's
Yeah,
blood's
and like
everywhere.
that's a shocking scene.
Yeah.
But I think I just love that whole opening sequence so much
Mhm.
that
But it
that
wasn't real.
that scene, that wasn't real,
It
which
wasn't
isn't
real.
great.
It
I
was
don't
a
like how
dream.
a lot of it is dreamy, not in a good way, but it
Very dreamy.
didn't work for us. But yeah, I will say my favorite kill, just because I recognize the actress. It's a shocking kill. It was really brutal, and that was my favorite kill.
Do you want to know my favorite kill?
What's your favorite kill? And
The cow.
the cow, yes, the cow.
When Leo asked, like, "Hey, what's your favorite kill of the movie?" The first thing I thought of was like, "Oh yeah, the cow dies," and then I was like, "That's my favorite kill of the
Yeah,
movie."
when the two like the morgue people,
Yeah.
the morgue
The
people,
morgue people.
the morticians are like driving their
Poor cow.
car. They're driving their car
Yeah.
into a cow.
How did you not see it? I guess it's dark.
Actually,
I don't
now
give a
that, now
shit
that
to
I think of
question.
it, the kill with like Michael like sawing off the guy's head with like glass, that was kind of cool. I hate that guy. I just thought, I don't know,
I'm
maybe
not a-
that's my favorite kill.
I'm not a big fan of like kills.
Kills. Okay, well, what are you doing with this franchise? But
no, I like kills. It's just like I
it was
don't
just
really
I
give a
didn't.
shit.
It was just that was such a gross sequence, so maybe that's why I didn't love
But
it
the
so
cow
much.
exploded.
That was cool.
Yeah, favorite kill.
You're winning me over there. Favorite performance? Easy for me is Brad Dourif,
The sheriff.
the sheriff.
I wrote the sheriff as well.
Brackett.
Yeah.
He's like the most lovable character in
Yeah.
this movie, and you
Fucking shocking,
feel for him. You feel for him when I don't think it's Lindsay. I think it's Annie. That's not Lindsay.
Bro, I have no
Annie.
idea.
Sorry, I got it mixed up. Annie. You know who Daniel Harris plays that character.
Yes.
When he sees, I think it's Annie. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No.
That whole scene is
Mhm.
just a not gut wrenching, but like
Right.
he performed the best he
Yeah, he
in
could.
that scene, and I think he's just the most lovable and most not sane character in the movie,
The best one.
but I just remember him
Yeah.
a lot, being a very caring guy. I just think it's a great character.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but yeah,
I
that's
hate-
that one,
fucking
and
hate
there's
this
there's
movie.
not bad. I mean, it's an interesting movie. It's an interesting movie. Yeah, but it's not for us. But if you like it,
Good
fantastic.
for you.
All right,
Yeah.
next above that
What's above
is
this movie?
I forgot. Yes,
Yeah,
I know.
I remember.
Halloween
Halloween
5. I don't like
Ah.
this movie.
Ah.
It's
See, I rewatched more recently the Thorn trilogy,
yeah.
and this one I was so bored.
I've never liked this
I have
movie.
some hot takes.
I've never liked this movie. There's some elements that are kind of good. Let's start with the positives.
Jamie is a great.
Jamie
actress.
is giving.
She's giving it her all.
Danielle is giving it all she can.
Oh, so good.
The full vibes
Lovely
on point in this
character.
movie, I guess. The
Billy
full
as
vibes.
well. Billy, little
The kid,
kid.
yeah,
the
he's
stuttering
cool.
kid.
He's cool.
Cool.
The soundtrack, interesting. I think it was good. Some of the kills were cool.
Some of the kills are very interesting. Yeah.
But that's it.
Yep.
That's really it. This
I have
is
a hot take.
yeah.
I liked what was her name? Tiffany.
Tinny?
No,
Tina.
Tina. I liked her at the beginning.
How?
I-
You can't. That's
She-
illegal.
She was likable.
No.
She got knocks.
She's always been annoying.
She knocks through the window and she's like, "Hey, I brought Max," and she was like, "Oh, I love Max." Then she goes, "Doo, doo,
Listen,
doo,"
if she was a side
cheering-
character,
cheering her up.
if she was a side
Yeah.
character
Oh, yeah,
and
her-
wasn't a replacement for Rachel,
Yeah, them killing Rachel was dumb.
that was horrible.
Yeah.
I hated that.
Yeah.
Because
awful.
Rachel was a cool,
Great
kick-ass
character.
character in 4, and she just dies after coming out of the shower. I'm like, fuck
off.
that.
Yeah.
No.
Mhm.
No, but like Tina, if she was a side character, sure, she's fun and lovable. But then she kind of was the main character, and Jamie was like, "Oh, Tina." It's like, fuck off. Rachel's more important. Fuck you, Tina. You're annoying as
I like
hell.
Tina.
And I don't like that shit.
She gets
Get
more
out.
annoying throughout, but like I
Yeah.
thought she was fine.
The one thing
I like
the
her.
one gripe I have with this movie
The
is
one.
it did two bad things. It ruined the ending of the last movie.
Yeah.
And then it really fucked over the franchise for the next few years. Like
Right.
it basically Four had an epic ending, and I
There was
get
a
it.
6-year gap between this one and the
Yeah,
next one.
because they're trying to figure out what the fuck do we do with the whole Man in Black situation. Michael escapes prison. They set the next person in a hole. Like, what the
Set them
hell
up
are you
for
gonna
failure.
do with that? And then the start of the film when they put Jamie as a mute, I don't fully blame them because like the franchise is gonna want to have Michael as a killer.
You can't really carry it.
You
with
can't have
her.
Jamie as a kid running around as a killer because that's just not gonna feel like Michael. Not Michael, but feel like Halloween. But
little guy.
it's
killing people.
Yeah, but it just
I kind of like her. I
ruined
kind
it.
of like her being like a sidekick if it was done better. The idea is decent.
But this
Loomis sucks.
Yeah, but this whole movie just
Yeah.
feels cheesy to me, and especially those cops with those sound effects.
Oh, right.
God, oh my, what was the director
Fuck
thinking?
me gently with a chainsaw.
No, Heather. I'm so it's just not a great Halloween movie at all. Like there's little bits of like even Donald Pleasance's Dr. Loomis.
He's pleasant.
He's like
No, at all. He's the worst.
It's the worst version of Dr. Loomis of Donald Pleasance that we get,
Yeah.
and to me even just the worst because he's just a maniac and whatever. I don't love it, but let's talk about the best kill first. So
Oh shit.
is it kill or performance?
kill?
Kill. I have a bad memory. All right, best kill.
Michael.
Mike.
His name, yeah, Michael.
Not Michael Myers, but the
But
guy
the-
with the car who
Yes,
looks
yes,
like
yes.
John Lennon.
Yeah, he gets his head chopped, blombed in.
I just remember that being memorable.
Yeah, I rewatched it and I was like, wow, that was.
It's the same for you, right? Same for you?
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah, so there's other. I think there's another cool kill where like Michael has got like the sign. He's like, not the
Yeah, but you
sign,
don't
the
see
big Reaper
You don't see
stuff. Yeah, I
You
just
don't
think
see
it.
that
I just think
kill.
it's funny when Mike is like, oh, and then he just
Yeah.
comes and goes,
And he goes, why yada? And he just.
why you
in the
scratched my
head.
car? But
Yeah, that was fun.
yeah, this.
That was Michael intentionally being a dick.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right, best performance.
Jamie.
Same for me.
Jamie.
It's Danielle
She
Harris.
really did her best.
Yeah, she. I mean, those scenes when she was like in the
Especially- yeah,
in the vent,
coffin.
in the
as
coffin,
well.
in the vent.
Yeah.
That she had a lot to
She had
deal
a
with
lot
as
to
a
do,
young
and she did
actress,
great.
and she pulled it off for the most
Fantastic.
part, I think. Also, one more thing I totally forgot to say:
What?
Michael's mask in this movie fucking sucks. It's like my least favorite.
Oh,
of the
right. He
franchise.
has like an almost mullet.
It's like a huge forehead.
Yeah. Oh,
Least favorite of the franchise.
so bad.
So bad.
So bad.
Anyway, next one.
Anyway, next one.
Number 10 is Rob Zombie's
Rob Zombie's
Halloween. Now, we understand there's probably fans for this,
Yeah.
but just like Halloween 2, it's a very
It's
hard
just
watch.
Very hard.
It's a very hard watch. There was some stuff that I love.
The
I
second
like
half of it, I like.
the second half is like a decent remake. We had a
Yeah.
fun time because I mean we were kind of talking over. it. We were
Yeah,
going like,
we were
"Where's my
having
bitch?"
fun. We're just going through the house breaking shit. Where's my bitch?
we were like we were
We're
dubbing
trying
Michael.
we're trying to have fun.
And I
with it.
think it was kind of cool that we got scenes of Dr. Loomis and Michael in the
Yeah,
sanitarium
sure.
talking.
It was interesting.
And I also kind of like concepts of how, Michael, if we're going to go the route of, if we're going down the route that, Michael, he became a killer because of his circumstances.
Yeah.
I also don't mind the fact that he's like making masks. I think that's a really cool concept. I think that's kind of
Does
interesting.
he
And
make the Michael Myers mask?
no, it's the one that he wore it when he was a kid and then dug it
Yeah,
under
it was
something.
like really big on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like it. And I kind of think that's kind of cool how like Michael
As always. had it.
wears that same mask he killed on Halloween night, back
Yeah.
then. And there's elements that are really kind of cool about this, but it is still a hard watch. Those first 30 or something minutes, first act, where it's just hillbillies and we're just all about the,
Dude,
childhood.
So annoying.
It was just, it's hard. It's
like-
hard to watch
It's
it.
a get through. I have to get through it.
Yeah, I mean,
Fuck.
but there's still great parts about this. Like I like Dr. Loomis in this in this movie. I think he's cool and interesting. And as I said, I love the scenes with him in the sanitarium. There wasn't enough though. I sadly, because we can't find the theatrical cut very easily, we had to watch the director's cut, which is like the
Oh.
most widely distributed one,
So
and it has a rape
bad.
scene, which isn't great.
It's not fun to watch.
Don't love to watch that.
You know what I love to watch Halloween for? Middle America.
Middle America.
Middle of Texas. What is this set? I
don't know.
I don't give a shit.
But I think one thing that we also talked about was that the cinematography is also pretty cool towards like the last end
Yeah.
of it. But,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
where there was like a scene where
Michael
like
Myers
Michael's in the
is, like, in the
trees.
yeah. God.
And he appears like after like behind a door or something like that.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That's so good.
I think
Make
Rob
that
Zombie,
the movie.
I think Rob Zombie is a great director. I know other people say this as well. I think he can be a good director, but he's a shit like screenwriter.
Yeah.
or good cinematographer, whatever he does. Like he's good at getting frames sometimes,
he's a good.
but he's really
visual-
shit at not cinematography as screenwriter. As a screenwriter, like
God,
I
he's just so
can't watch
annoying.
his
I
movies.
can't.
But
Hopefully his PG monster is a bit tolerable.
I've heard some bad reviews about that one.
Oh, shit.
But anyway, But I don't have too much more to say. What more? Do you
I
have
don't
any more
know.
to say?
I don't care about this movie.
Yeah, me neither. So let's talk about our best kill.
All right. We have the same one, right?
No.
What's yours?
Actually, Louis, what's your one?
Mine's the kid who gets killed at the start.
Oh
By-
no,
By
yeah,
Michael.
yeah, that,
As a kid.
I wrote
Yeah.
down two
Stick.
actually.
It was a stick kid.
I wrote
a
down
stick
two. Wesley, I think, is my actual one.
The
which
one
is
in the
which is
toilet?
the kid. No, the kid.
Kid. Oh.
Wesley's the actual one that I go for.
Yeah.
But Joe Grizzly, bitch, is the
One in the
funny,
toilet?
the one in the toilet.
Yeah.
That shit's funny, and I just like it because it's the actor from Dawn of the Dead,
Yeah.
and it's just so funny going, "I'm Joe Grizzly, bitch." But I think the most impactful kill was definitely
It's the kid at the
Wesley,
beginning.
and I got like that was like that. My stomach was hurt, like feeling weird
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
That sounded
Favorite actor?
Favorite actor?
Loomis.
Yeah, Malcolm
Me?
McDowell.
Loomis.
Malcolm McDowell as Loomis.
Just great new form of Loomis.
He was a good kind of like sassy Loomis, kind of cool Loomis.
Yeah, trying like
And
kind
we
of
saw
hip.
progression with his character. You know, he wasn't just
Yeah.
the Dr.
Right.
Loomis we know from the original. And he was caring. He was just a good updated version of Donald Pleasance, really.
Yeah.
But just kind of a more cool, kind of casual. And we got more with him with this movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was a good part of it. All right, above that, 9. If
What
I
did
can
we do for this
remember.
one?
Oh,
Kills?
yes, 9 is Halloween Kills.
Kills.
Now we get to the new trilogy.
What a disappointment.
Yeah, disappointment. and a
Talking
half.
about hard to watch.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, for me,
there were elements I love.
I hated the filmmaking in this movie.
I was, I mean,
I've
I
never
didn't,
struggled watching a film like this.
you just
in
didn't like the
a row.
crash zooms, did you?
I love crash zooms. I don't know how this movie made me not like them.
I like the crash zooms.
It made me not see the kill. Like there's a point where the husband of the woman who gets stabbed in the neck, he gets stabbed, and the camera just whoops away from the kill as a crash zoom. I want to see that, and I like the kills being sudden and like and it's over. And when it's like drawn out like that, I remember sitting next to Freddie, our friend, 5 minutes through this movie,
Freddie,
and just
shout out to you.
going, I don't think I like this. 5 minutes in, the story, the writing, the pacing, the way it was edited and directed, and like it was
yeah.
so fast paced and weird, and like it was shocking, and I was just like, I can't. Stand
I was in denial with this movie, mind you. I was like a massive Halloween fan, more than probably my friends, and I loved 2018. I didn't like love it, but I thought it was a fantastic movie. He set me with high standards for this trilogy. I was waiting for this movie for
2018,
3
to
years,
2021.
basically 3 years.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this movie. It was my most anticipated movie for 3 years straight. When I watched the trailer, couldn't wait. I've been hyping this movie up, and I sat in the theater. And when I watched it, with all the over dramatic writing, everyone's speaking like Shakespeare, no one having logic, I was in denial. I was like,
there's
no, but there's
logic to this
reasons.
movie.
But there's reasons. And I remember afterwards, I was trying to like
He
say
was trying so hard.
so hard to live for this movie, and it didn't take me into a week or two. Then I went like that I realized like, holy shit, this movie isn't good, and it sucks. I mean, there are elements I love about it, and I just want to talk about it really quickly because we probably can shit more on this film, but I think the soundtrack was good. Really cool scenes. I loved Michael Myers in this movie. Like he looked badass, and I thought like one of the best parts of this movie. Cinematography was cool. I liked the flashback sequence at the start. It did still suffer from some characters making kind of stupid decisions and it being cheesy, but the whole bit where everyone's got their guns out and like Michael's standing there and Donald and having like a Dr. Loomis was really cool and got me hyped for the movie.
Yeah, the
but
flashbacks,
there on forward, it
bad.
just felt like
So bad.
it was just all this hospital stuff wasn't great. No character has logic. And this is the problem with it, though. This kind of movie doesn't suit Michael Myers. Michael Myers is a character that is meant to be in the shadows, hiding and stalking, taking his victims one by one. But when you have a whole town against him facing a whole town, you have to numb down every character because they wouldn't.
Everyone would just shoot him in the
They
head.
would kill him.
Freaking Karen has like got a thing at his neck, and then she's like, we got
But the problem is they know it's a middle part in a trilogy.
They just can't. They can't
So
kill.
they're
Yeah.
going to have to numb every character down.
Don't worry,
because it wouldn't
Michael
work.
Myers isn't supernatural. Oh wait, he is.
He is, and it's just it's just Michael doesn't suit this kind of movie. He's not the right killer for this movie, and it just sucks.
You go.
Because of that, and you go.
When people say like for Halloween Ends, it's like, why are you so disappointed in that? Well, you just didn't get Terminator Jason. Terminator Michael. We got Terminator Michael, and I hated it because all the kills were ruined because of dumb decisions.
Yeah,
like the woman going right next to Michael with a gun, and everyone knows a gun is.
And people
good
just
for
shooting in like
distance.
random places, and it just didn't. It just didn't work, and
God.
even like, and as I said, like as we've been saying, the dialogue was too Shakespearean.
So
like
dumb.
There was one I liked. One of my favorite parts of this movie was Little John and Big John. They were funny. They were kind of cool.
But they're so
I
dumb.
dug them. But yeah, why does I think it's Little John. Why did he just
Michael,
stand there
you came home.
in his sister's room when he turns over to see Michael and just stands there and says this whole
Michael,
Shakespearean thing about
you came
Michael,
home.
you came home. Like it's so
Weird.
it's just
Stupid.
excruciating
You
because
you just saw your husband dead on the floor.
there's elements I like, but it's not. Yeah, it's just a messy film. But we should probably get to
hate
the
it so
best
much.
kill.
My best kill is
Yeah.
the guy who gets stabbed multiple times in the back. I know it's not the kill, but just that kill moment.
Which
of,
guy
like,
was it?
The guy who was just.
Oh
getting
yeah,
Just like the pan over of her looking at it, and it
the
slowly
the
pans to
neighbors, the
reveal.
old, like the
neighbors.
the couple
Just
who were
Michael
neighbors.
continuously stabbing to find the right knife.
Yeah, I mean that was I think to me the
really-
best kill sequence easily
Yeah.
of the movie.
Too many crash zooms, but I'll handle it.
and it sucks because my favorite kill of that movie, and I have to change
It's
it
the franchise.
now. Not the franchise, but
Yeah.
my favorite kill was Sandra, who was the wife of that guy, because that was like intense, where he had like a fuse
fluorescent.
stuck in her neck, and she was watching her husband be stabbed while she was dying. But I
she-
can't
she's
say
alive.
that now because it ends. Spoilers.
She's alive.
So I'm gonna have to change it to.
the guy's head gets stuck in the stairs.
No,
That was pretty cool.
that was cool. I mean, there was cool kills in this movie.
Yeah.
That's a massive plus. Cool kills in this movie.
Good for you, movie.
Just trying to think of
For the name Halloween Kills, there were kills in
I
this
I
movie.
guess I would have to say your one then, because that was still my favorite kill sequence.
Cool.
Now favorite performance.
I wrote.
Who do you say?
Um,
Should I say mine?
I said Laurie.
Laurie.
I didn't
Who's
like anyone.
hardly in the movie.
Yeah, I didn't like anyone, so I just wrote Laurie.
Mine was James Giucorni, Michael Myers, in this
Oh,
movie.
yeah. See, yours, yeah. See,
Yeah.
we can pick Myers.
Because Michael
I'll agree
Myers
with
was
you.
the coolest part of this movie, and James Giucorni, I'm just gonna say it, is my favorite Michael Myers.
Mhm.
Like I like Nick Castle, but I like him because he's directed really well in the shadows.
Yeah.
If it was just to judge like the performance of Michael Myers, like as you said, the directing wasn't the best in this movie, but he still pulled it off with the directing. He didn't need to have the shadow stuff.
Michael
like
Myers,
that.
you don't always have to be in the shadow. You should have
Yeah.
to be in the background.
But this was my easily.
yeah.
He's my favorite Michael Myers. He's like going to become that, and This is probably him at his peak, Michael Myers.
Yeah.
So he's my favorite performer
Yeah.
in this movie.
What a disappointing movie.
Speaking about disappointing movies, our next entry on the list is unfortunately Halloween Ends, the latest in the franchise.
What a disappointment. This may
Um,
shock you. We don't like this movie as much as the other ones, and that's
Yeah.
mainly because maybe it's recency bias. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
just feel like my disappointment for this movie.
this movie is just really disappointing. This movie has a lot of great elements to it, and we've talked about this. How all the
Watch
best.
our review.
Watch our review. We're not going to talk about too much because we want you to listen
Yeah.
to the review, and we've already kind of talked about it to ad nauseum. But we love so many elements of this movie in a vacuum.
In a vacuum.
If it's just like in its own kind of separate thing, like I personally like Laurie, I like Michael, I like how they both are at the end of this movie. Not the fight scene, but like how Laurie is trying to get better. He's a happy grandma. Michael is this. We're going with the shape idea where he's this dying kind of being that needs to spread on the shape.
Yeah.
That's cool. But in the context of a trilogy, that shit doesn't work.
Yeah.
And when you have a
Doesn't make
movie
sense.
entirely about Corey Cunningham, which I think the actor does as best as he could, and I
Yeah.
kind of liked his character for 50% of the movie. As,
It
as-
just wasn't
as-
handled well.
I just think it all kind of comes to a waste towards the end, and it's a messy
It just
movie.
feels like Corey just meant nothing because
Yeah.
he dies and it's Michael fight.
There's still some really great parts of this movie. Soundtrack I think is cool. The directing's much better. The writing is much better than Kills.
Oh,
But it's still not
I'm just not the biggest fan of maybe the director's filmmaking.
Okay.
I just like some of the editing as well. It's just not. It just feels. Doesn't really fit Halloween to me. Maybe The Exorcist he'll do better.
Like I'm probably gonna watch Ends. I'll probably watch
on
Ends
its own.
On its own, I'll probably be rewatching this movie quite a lot.
Yeah, on its own.
Compared to the franchise.
Yeah.
But I just think
if you made me forget the previous movies and you just showed me this movie,
yeah,
I'll be like, hey, that's pretty interesting.
If this movie,
maybe not very good,
I think we might have
okay.
Yeah, I think we might have agreed on this point that if this was like a sequel to 78, like a cool concept sequel, and it still would have to have a couple of changes, like the ending would have to be different. Yeah. But if this was
if it was like just like
a sequel to 78,
45 years later,
it would have been a cool thing. But in the context of a trilogy, it just doesn't fully work.
Yeah. Oh, Michael's like a sewer rat. Oh, cool.
Yeah. All right. Best kill.
You go. I don't have it up yet.
The kid at the start. That was so impactful to me. It was just so funny. It was not funny. I was like, holy shit.
Which one?
The baby, the kid who was getting babysitted. And got kicked and flew.
Yeah.
That shocked the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And that was like, that got me like, oh yeah, let's watch this movie.
Yeah.
Favorite kill. I mean, I think he does a lot of other cool kills that you probably will comment on, but that just like shocked me and got me like, okay, what the fuck is this movie going to be about? Yeah. And got me excited.
Talking about shock, I like the doctor reveal, even though the doctor of Corey stabbing the doctor in the neck. Even though doesn't make sense. How did she not hear it? Even though he's right there and it just started hearing when the lights turned on. Doesn't matter about logic in this fucking franchise.
No, I'm pretty sure she heard it and that's why she turned the lights on. She was like, "What is that sound?"
No, you couldn't hear it. I remember.
Okay, I might need to watch the movie again.
Let me explain.
Louis probably right.
Yeah, no, I'll rewatch it. But anyway, the actual kill of like. And nothing's happening, and they turn over and the lights on, and it's just like kill, death. I was like, whoa, just a shock, and the gore of like the reveal of it was like, that's a Halloween kill, baby.
And I like that kill sequence. I like that kill sequence, and
Corey the cuck.
Corey,
I like to call him.
But I also love him with the scarecrow mask. It works. I think as a separate killer, he's really cool. But yeah, that was cool. Best actor. I feel mixed on this one. I've put two. I'm going to have to decide on one. I'm feeling like the two I put down was Rowan Campbell and Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis, I think she was such a lovable and enjoyable character in this movie, and she played it really well. But I think because of all this shit that was put on Rowan Campbell to make this work, and he, for the most part, did. He plays Corey. He plays Corey, by the way.
Yeah, I wrote Corey as well.
I think he's the best.
I wrote Corey when he was awkward and nerdy. Yeah. Like the whole part where he's like awkward.
I still think, but even though... if
we're
just judging performance...
acted... Performance, he did very well in the edgy shit. Even though I didn't like the edgy shit, he did very well.
I didn't mind
edgy
it.
Corey.
I didn't mind
edgy
it.
Corey was a piece of shit, and
I didn't mind it.
I wanted to kill him. I
didn't love it.
I would have joined the mob to be angry at him. I would have joined it.
I didn't mind.
I would be like, I'll light your match, bitch.
Anyway, but yeah, I think we both can agree that this guy got a lot of stuff on him, and he did the best he could.
Give him an Oscar.
Yeah.
They're handing them out these days.
Yeah. Anyway.
I don't know what I'm saying.
All right, from here on upwards, I think these are movies that we basically kind of
enjoy.
I mean, I think like they're not perfect.
No.
I think the top 6 is
let me be clear.
Good.
I don't love many of these movies. I think the top like 3 or 4 are like the ones I'm like, yeah, I love these movies. Yeah. But a lot of them, I have to say good things.
I think from here on upwards, it's just besides. I think number 7 for us. I think places 1 to 6 is like good, good to like really good to decent.
Yeah.
And then for me, number 7 is like it's alright, but we can still acknowledge it's not a great movie. So that's why number 7 is. Wait, what is it? Okay, thank God. The Curse of Michael Myers. Halloween.
Now, I brought this up, and Leah was surprised when I told him. So when I rewatched the 1, 2, 3. I was like
4, 5, 6.
4, 5, whatever. 4, 5, 6. I was like on the website that I watched it. I forgot. Like it was like either Amazon or something. And like I was watching it, and I couldn't find it. And it was like a different thing. And like I don't know. But I watched the producer's cut, and like it brought back all the things I like about Halloween. It brought back stalking. Michael Myers stalking. Took a while for Michael to start killing.
Had some good chase sequences.
Good chase sequence. I love Jamie, even though I hate the cult shit. It's like how I like Corey. I like Corey, but I hate him edgy Corey.
Yeah.
I like Corey. I like Michael Myers and everything about this movie except for the cult shit. But I like Jamie running. I like the whole intro sequence. It's got great atmosphere.
Yeah.
The
4 points are on point. with
Loomis
this.
being retired and like not dead. I'm just retired. Like
He's
a
cute in this
happy-go-lucky
movie.
man.
He's
I
a-
love it.
He is very cute in this movie.
And like and I love the main. I can't remember her name. I'm sorry, but like the
I got
main
it.
the main
What was it?
actress. And like the main actress, I think she's endearing. It's got a good
I think she played
family
something
dynamic.
Strode. I forgot her name.
Yeah, it's got a good family
Maureen.
dynamic, and it's got like actual interesting characters. And I'm like, oh man, I want this person to die. I don't want this person to die. Even the teenagers were like kind of interesting, and I thought like I just
Yeah.
didn't like the radio guy, but there was just so much that I was like, wow, it was really interesting. If it wasn't Michael Myers in a cult,
Yeah, and yeah, I will say like I
also
agree
Paul
with
Rudd
you.
is not good in this movie, but whatever.
Paul Rudd is a strange one. Like
Yeah.
he's enjoyable in scenes and sometimes not so
Don't
great.
worry about that.
And not so great. No, but yeah, I will say I agree with you for a lot of the points here. Yeah, the chase sequences are cool. The full vibes are on point.
Yeah.
The kills, for the most part, are pretty good. But yes, I think a major problem with this and why it's not super high on this list is that whole cult shit just isn't great. And no matter what cut you watch of this film,
Yeah.
it's not a story
It
that's
just
fully
brings it down.
enjoyable.
Also, the producer's cut ending is so anticlimactic.
Yeah, the theatrical
boy.
cut ending is even worse, man. I mean, you know, with
Really?
the mask and the needle.
I fucking can't remember.
There's you fell asleep, but they just cut to I think they escaped, and then we cut to a mask and a needle and Dr. Loomis screaming.
Oh yeah, there's another about the ending. I thought it was like kind of interesting how Loomis comes in. I don't like it. I don't love it. But it's just like it's like the type of weird interesting that I can dig.
Yeah.
That like Loomis has the mark because he grabbed the guy and he's just like, oh, he's different. And Michael has like because of the ritual that Paul Rudd did, I don't know,
Yeah,
changed him
it's-
or some shit. It's weird, but like him just going like ah, and then Michael leaving the Man in Black.
But it's
I
still
was like,
yeah.
I was looking, I was like, I don't hate it.
It's still a weird one. And
I don't
here's the
hate it.
thing, like I gotta commend this movie because Halloween 5 set them up on
Yeah.
some bad stuff. Halloween 5 set up the thorn, symbol,
Yeah.
the Man in Black.
They
They had
did
to
their
explain
best.
that shit, and
Yeah.
they literally did the best they could. But it still is kind of
It's
messy towards
messy.
the end.
But I don't know.
But I don't. Yeah, I don't. I agree with
I
you. It's
like
not too bad. And I mean, yeah, I was tempted to put ends above this, but I don't know actually.
I let you put Resurrections last,
Yeah,
so let me just put this.
yeah,
above
that's okay.
Ends.
I agree.
And I let you put first.
Yeah, we'll
The
talk about
first one is
yeah,
first.
yeah.
First one, yeah.
But anyway, let's talk about best kill.
Right. Oh, mine's easy.
Now there are some. I think the kill sequence in like in the operating room is kind of cool. But for me, it was Deborah Strode, who was the mum
Right.
with the sheet and the axe. With
Right,
the
yeah,
like she's
yeah.
running through the sheets and she falls over. It's a bit
Yeah.
cheesy, but then he comes in with the axe and there's like blood splatter. I'm like, that's like an iconic image of the movie.
Yeah.
Was that? And I thought that was effective to
Yeah.
me, and I thought that was cool.
What I have like two, but I have one. But like also like Jamie, she's like having dreams, and it's like down the hallway. And the reason why I convinced Leo about this being up is because the Man in Black does this
Doing
as
that,
he's flying down the
whoa,
hallway.
that was
so good.
best
So
part of the
good.
entire franchise,
So
in my
good.
opinion.
Love it. And then Jamie, like, he's got a gun. He's like, sorry, Jamie. I was like, no. Like, I felt emotional with that. But my actual favorite kill is when Paul Rudd is at the radio thing. And then Paul Rudd is like, why is this girl singing? And the girl was like, it's raining red. And then she's like, it's raining red. And, like, she's, like, blood on her. And he looks up, and he's just, like, in the tree all mangled and stuff around him.
Is that the radio
That's like a
host?
shocking, yeah. I
Yeah.
was like, whoa, that's cool. And it was like a slow reveal of like, why is this girl singing about raining red? Good stuff, movie.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't deserve the 9%.
Yeah, seriously.
9%?
I mean,
Fuck,
not over 40%, but like it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, whatever. Who cares?
Anyway, best performance I'm gonna give to Maureen Hannigan, who played the main like protagonist.
Yeah, main woman. I wrote main woman.
I was tempted to say Paul Rudd because he's just such a
Such a weird-
interesting character in
Yeah.
this. And if I had to do like best performance, worst performance, I would give it both to him.
Yeah.
But I have to be honest here. I think she probably did the best job.
She did great. Good
Yeah.
for her.
I don't think there's much more we need to say with that one.
No.
But she's good. Now we're getting to the good stuff. We'll all give this a thumbs
no,
up.
this is good.
All right, fine.
In my opinion,
This is good. From here on onwards, thumbs up. So at number 6, I forgot, is Halloween 4.
Wow.
This is much higher on my list.
I don't
Much
remember
higher on my
I don't
list.
remember what's above it.
But,
all
Halloween 4.
Halloween 4. Return to form.
Yes.
Don't love the mask.
Yeah, no.
Don't love the mask.
Should have stuck with that one,
Yeah,
but
don't love it.
no, it's not great. And I get people go like, oh, he picked it up at some store randomly and put it on. I guess, but
Yeah.
still, it's not great.
Also,
and it's
it's got a great opening. I love the opening of like just
the
cornfield.
fall,
Oh, so good.
and it is a bit like the explanation about how he survived the fire is like a bit whatever, and how like
Yeah.
Donald Pleasance survived it with just like a tiny burn that keeps
Yeah.
on changing because of the
Yeah.
continuity problems.
Yeah.
Is a bit.
Yeah.
And there's like other negatives is that like it can feel pretty slow paced towards like the middle,
Oh yeah.
and there are maybe some
Yeah.
dumb decisions by the whole the mob who's shooting random stuff.
Yeah.
but-
I feel like it was
But
better
I feel
in
like
this movie
what
than
we agreed
Kills.
is I think
Yeah.
this is a better mob, town against Michael movie
Right.
than Halloween Kills.
Yeah. This was what Halloween Kills wanted to be.
Yeah,
but
because like
yeah.
Michael was in the shadows.
Yeah.
He strategically chose to like
Yeah.
shut down the power of the town. He was going for Jamie and
Halloween 4 and Halloween 4 is like Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. New killer and
Yeah.
and like mob mentality.
And I think it's like it's cool. I think Dr. Loomis is like really great in this one. I
Yeah.
mean, he has some like fantastic
when
speeches.
when he's in the petrol station and
Yeah.
Michael just has like the bandages.
That is kind of cool.
Oh,
I like
and
that.
he's like, Michael, just leave them alone.
I like how it's like
Just leave
it's
them.
a
He's trying to
whole.
reason with
It's
them.
like number one where
Yeah.
he's trying to get to Haddonfield and he has to stop him,
Yeah.
and
And he meets
even the weird characters that the
pastor.
pastor. That stuff is cool, and it's
Yeah,
like
it's very
Dr.
interesting.
Loomis is on a mission. He's
a man on a mission.
and some of the speeches he gives is fantastic. Like hell wouldn't have him.
Yeah.
And
Hell,
that was, they wanted. He's great, and
great.
the cop characters were
Yeah.
better than the album 5.
Yeah.
And
the third act.
The third act, I think, is one of the best third acts in this entire franchise. I think, Rachel
and-
really came into her own.
Rachel and Jamie are just
Jamie
great
trying to get out there was
protagonists.
kick ass.
Yeah. Tina is good.
Tina was in this one, but
She has a character kind of like.
oh
her.
yeah, I guess she kind of
Yeah.
is.
She has one scene.
And there's like other cool stuff is like I didn't the stuff in that whole house bit was
Yeah.
kind of cool. I kind of liked how like
I don't-
Michael was in
yeah.
the shadows and then came
Yeah,
in.
I
and-
didn't need the Rachel and love story thing, but like
Yeah,
it was decent. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually my favorite kill.
but
But
oh yeah, we'll get to that, I guess. But yeah, and there was the whole going up into the
Yeah.
attic and hopping on the roof was really cool.
yeah, really
and
thrilling.
and then
I just don't love the look of Michael. He's too big and his shoulders are too up, and
he
he's
looks like he's wearing like shoulder pads. Or
yeah,
something
and like his mask is so small,
Yeah.
and he's so in the light all the time. This movie is pretty much just Halloween 5 just redoes the ending of this movie
yeah,
of the police officers in the house.
I guess so. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's just redone, but like
it's
yeah,
redone,
it
but
shows
like
how good the ending
and it's a
is.
really cool. Like Michael for some reason hops on like some of the
Somehow gets
cars
on a
driving
car.
out, and they're getting out of Haddonfield,
That's
which
a
is
bit
cool.
silly. Yeah,
And they call in the cops, and then he blows up. And of course, we're going to talk about that really impactful, cool ending where like Jamie
Yeah,
is revealed to
Stuffed
be
ab.
this killer.
doesn't kill her. She doesn't die.
She doesn't die. Oh
No.
yeah,
In the next movie,
I forgot
in the next
that.
movie, they're like they attacked.
But it's such a cool
Yeah.
image, and Dr. Loomis is like, no,
No, in fact, to shoot her.
About to
The guy's
shoot
like,
her.
No, don't
and
shoot.
that's like such
and
an
then he
intense
grabs-
scene.
Do you know what? I love it. Like Loomis brings the gun up. The cop stops him.
Like,
and
what are
then
you
he
doing?
brings the gun up. Like he doesn't like stop him. He
But
grabs
I
it.
think what this movie is
Oh,
great
so
at is
fun.
that it's a really good kind of. It does feel a lot like One in a way,
Yeah.
and it does that well without making it too cheesy.
Yeah.
And I think
showing
it
what's
is.
good about one, but making its own thing.
And yes, I think there's some pacing issues with
Yeah,
this one,
yeah.
but
It's not perfect.
but I
definitely.
do think it's an enjoyable watch. And out of the sequels in this franchise, it's like well
Oh,
above half.
It's like looking at the sunrise.
Yeah, and it's good. So let's talk about our favorite kill.
Well, I got my favorite kill out, which is the reveal of like
Yeah.
she thinks it's the officer in the chair. Why would Michael be holding a shotgun, rocking a chair? I don't know, but it's cool. And then he's just rocking, and then he's dead in the corner.
I think that's my favorite kill as well. To
And
be
then
honest.
it's also doubled with the shotgun through the stomach. It's like that's like one reveal to another kill.
I think that was
that
yeah.
moment is my
Yeah,
favorite.
I think that might be my favorite. I was gonna say Brady when the head gets squashed because that's like the most iconic when it's being lifted up.
Yeah,
But I will say just that reveal is really
It's
cool.
kinda
So I'm gonna
bloodless,
say
but yeah.
that's my favorite kill. All right, favorite performance.
Rachel for me.
Rachel.
Yeah.
To me, I'm gonna say Donald Pleasance because I really think
Yes,
this
yeah,
is him
sure.
at his peak.
I already gave Donald Pleasance to another
Rachel,
one, so.
I would not argue against that. I think she's fantastic in this movie.
She's like, I love this. I love the dynamic of like it's like an adopted
Mhm.
sister. I find it interesting.
But I think this is definitely like to me, in my opinion, peak Loomis. I think that like he doesn't. He
he doesn't
feel
really
like
do much in
Don-
the first one.
in the first one doesn't do much. Number 2, he's still pretty good. but number 4, he's like doing monologues left and right. He's trying to save a girl. He seems like Donald Pleasence seems like he's having fun in this role, in my opinion. I think the other two, he's like there, but he's got so much intensity. You know, screaming like no, telling speeches.
Yeah.
You know, meeting characters. We see little Dr. Loomis stuff where it isn't got to do with Michael,
and people agree with him as well, and like they're on his side.
And him having all this like kind of having like knowledge about, I've seen this before. We got to stop this. You can't let Michael come back. I love this, and I think this is peak Dr. Loomis in my opinion. So that's that.
Cool.
God damn you.
Number 5, top 5, everybody. I forgot what it is.
I think it's H2O.
Halloween H2O.
Halloween water.
Now, a lot of people strangely don't like this movie that much,
I think it's just.
which is weird. I think it's good. I get people go like, oh, it's like Dawson's Creek. I haven't seen Dawson's Creek, so I haven't seen it.
All
And
the teenage stuff can go die in a hole. I like. Well, when I say that, I just haven't. I don't really care for it.
Yeah.
I just like Laurie and how it deals with her trauma.
Yeah.
And I like Michael in this movie, just not his mask.
Yeah, I mean, it does have a couple of issues with this movie. I mean,
Yeah.
they wear about 4 different masks. If you don't know, Michael wears about
CGI
4 different masks. CGI mask, one that looks like an alien.
Yeah, and when he's like eyes.
He wears the
completely
Curse of Michael
visible.
Myers mask for like a scene, and then the mainline one where his eyes are like really big and you can see it. And Chris Duran isn't my favorite Michael. He's a bit short, but he's not the worst. He's got a bit frizzy
I just feel
hair.
like this movie just has a decent structure and story.
But this one's really well paced. And mind you, this is for me. I'm not sure for you, but it's the first Halloween movie I've seen. So like, was
I think
one
I
your
watched one.
one was your first.
And then I
But for
watched
me, it was
H2O.
H2O. So I already kind of have this love to. I was getting to the Halloween. I was getting to the horror genre. So when I watched this movie, I liked it right away. And it's just a fun, like Halloween movie that the characters, like some of them are likable. Jamie Lee Curtis, has a good like divide of her being really cautious but not being too overblown like she is in 2018.
Yeah.
And I think that. I just think the ending's also really good if that was the ending.
It's like the Laurie I would want from Halloween Ends kind of thing,
Sure.
where she's still kind of haunted by Michael, but living her own life.
Not
feel like-
completely forgetting about Michael. I
Yeah,
guess.
not forgetting about Michael, but still living her own life and trying, and she's like drinking a lot.
Yeah.
Right? No, she doesn't drink.
There's some really cool references to like Halloween 2 with like Nurse Chambers and
I forgot
Mr.
about that,
Sandman at the start, and
Yeah.
I think it's a I think it's like a good continuation of that to a degree, and I don't have much to say more.
Don't have much more to say.
I think it's just a fun, really cool ending.
Callback
Really
to
cool
originals,
ending. With the axe and Louis going, no, I'm gonna actually kill him. And you could say it feels a bit like Scream. I don't
agree.
remember it feeling too much like Scream, but I guess with the whole teenagers element, yeah. And we don't know what like Dawson's Creek was like, so I can't compare that.
Yeah.
And we like Scream, so that's
we like Scream.
so that's not really affects us too much. But I just remember having fun with this one. It's not amazing, but it's just fun. And there's some cool sequences, like how you were saying with the toilet cubicle sequence, and that was kind of cool. And I cool also references the horror genre with Jamie Lee's mother being there and Psycho.
like the Psycho theme. Yeah.
I think it's just a fun, cool, accessible Halloween movie that has Michael Dye at the end. But
My parents who don't like horror movies that much like this movie. So.
yeah, so that's cool. Let's talk about our best kill.
H2. Oh.
For me, it was, I don't know if her name is Sarah, but the one where it was like I don't remember who discovered her body, but I think it was her boyfriend, or maybe not. I think it was afterwards. No, it was afterwards. I think, but basically the lady, the teenager girl who gets like her insides like ripped out and there's like a light coming out of it and she's like canning. That was just a cool image
mine's
to
the same
see.
one. Lightbulb woman, I wrote.
Lightbulb woman, and I think it was just cool.
Yeah.
There was other cool stuff like a guy having like an ice like a
Ice pick.
not ice pick, but when skating, like ice skates
Ice
in
skate.
his
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
That was kind
If you
of
would see
ice
it,
skates in his face. That was kind of cool. But yeah, that was my favorite kill. Favorite performance?
Laurie.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee
Yeah.
Curtis. She really brought it to this movie.
Yeah.
She didn't have to, but she did.
Yeah. I mean, this series, they're talking about best performances may get repetitive, but to me, I think Jamie Lee
Laurie.
Curtis was the best part of that. So yeah, moving on to the next one, number 4, which is Halloween 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
Well, this was a fun movie to come
This was
back to.
good.
When we watched it in theaters, we watched it in
Yeah.
theaters. We were excited. Leah wore his Michael Myers costume.
That was a great night.
Watched it. I remember you went out not loving it.
I went out with like 10. Well, I thought it was good, but I didn't want to like say it's the best
Yeah.
thing ever because it wasn't. It didn't completely blow me out of the way.
Yeah.
There was parts of it that
lot
I
of
didn't like
cheesiness.
a lot of cheesiness, like a
Comedy.
lot of references, some comedy, a lot of comedy that didn't work. There was kill like sequences that could have been more effective. Like for example, when they see like Michael,
In the
like
closet.
when the babysitter like goes in
Yeah.
and sees Michael
Yeah.
in the
But it
closet,
just makes it funny.
but then
when
like
you
the kid is just like going, oh fuck, hell no, and
Yeah.
like runs out. Like that's funny, and it's a really enjoyable movie to watch with friends and with people in the cinema.
Yeah.
But it took away from it actually being like a scary, dark Halloween movie, and there were other elements like Dr. Sartain that didn't fully work
Yeah.
to me. I'm forgiving a lot of elements, but that still kind of had a bad taste in my mouth, and some bits with like
Some of the teenagers.
I guess so. I mean, I didn't mind it too much, but some stuff, with Laurie, in the shadow going, Happy
Yeah,
Halloween,
Halloween,
Michael,
Michael.
and hitting
Yeah.
them. But besides that stuff, this is a really solid
Yeah,
Halloween
return
movie.
to form.
This
Yeah.
is it was fantastic. I mean, Michael Myers was awesome in this movie.
Yeah.
Had awesome kills. It felt like a really great readaptation of the original. There was some really cool directing things, like the one shot where Michael was like walking around
Yeah.
and like goes into like a
house,
house, picks
and
up a
then comes up
knife,
with
does
a
a whole thing.
Yeah.
That
There
shit
were a
was
lot of
cool.
tense moments, and I would say that I just wish it was just this movie.
And
thing.
I guess so, but
Because this
I
movie
wanna-
had like
an
all
ending.
of the things you
I
would
guess so.
want from an ending of this.
the Laurie and Michael fight was
Yeah,
pretty
it
cool
had
at
the
the
Laurie and
end.
Michael
It
fight.
was like I kind of just want to talk about it as it is, but but I think Michael was awesome, Laurie was awesome. The soundtrack, I have it on vinyl. I love this soundtrack. It's my favorite Michael Myers soundtrack. I used to think it was Halloween 2, but upon like listening, this is such a diverse, cool Halloween soundtrack because
what
like
was it, electric guitar with or
Yeah.
a bass with a bow.
they like
so
experimented with it. When the shape is like hunting
cool.
Allison. That
Yeah.
shit was cool, and I liked Allison. Didn't love Karen,
Yeah.
but and some comedy bits I did love, like the dad saying I got peanut butter on my penis, and it's just a really fun, enjoyable movie. And I just remember having a great time with it, and I want to rewatch it as whenever if I have time for it, I want to rewatch it. But this is I just remember like this is the Halloween movie of like our generation.
Yeah.
This is the one that we get to see. First Halloween movie I saw in cinemas, obviously, because I was too young to watch any of the others. And I just had so much fun with it. Any other things you want to say?
Nope.
No. It's just fun. It's
It was
great, and you can watch it as its own thing, which is rare for this franchise.
Mhm.
You could literally watch it by itself.
Yeah.
You don't really need to see 78, but you should. But
Sure.
but definitely, let's talk about best kill. I think we have the same one. Well, maybe not.
What is yours?
Dr. Sartain's kill when he gets stamped on.
Oh
on
no, I
his
have a
head.
different one.
Oh, cool. Well, mine's Dr. Sartain when he gets stomped on because that
Say
was
something. Say something.
that shit was. Oh, actually, as a kill, that's cool. But like the whole actually bathroom sequence is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that was
With
good.
like the teeth that's getting dropped down and the
Yeah.
guy's head gets like knocked in, like the
Yeah.
reporter's head gets like knocked into the. That might be my favorite actually. That's my favorite. Dr. Sartain was cool, but that's actually my favorite. What's your favorite kill?
My favorite kill sequence is when Michael is in the garden with the lights that turn off and on, and then the kid is
shit,
just
I forgot
like
about that
the
one.
kid is just like, yeah, sorry, and he thinks he's talking to someone else, and the lights turn off, and he gets stabbed, and he runs, and his like face is through,
Yeah.
like he got hot fuzzed, right, like the spike is through his chin, and then Michael comes out and Allison sees it.
Oh,
And then it goes. Brrrr.
I forgot that one.
Yeah.
That was such a good one.
Yeah.
Because that felt like Michael.
Yeah,
That felt like he was in the dark. The light turns on. He's in a
Yeah.
different position. That felt like the most like Michael out of all the kills.
love Michael.
That was a great one. God, this movie, I wouldn't say it was completely like the 78 where he should be in the shadows all the time, but for the most part, like compared
Yeah.
to some of the
It
other
gave,
movies in this
it
franchise.
gave extreme kills that some people want from like newer movies
Yeah.
because they got the budget for it, and I got some
Yeah.
from the old for the old fans.
Best performance,
I just wrote Laurie.
Jamie Lee Curtis. It's gonna be very repetitive.
She brought it again.
This is really her movie, you
It's
know.
her movie.
It's
She did it.
this is trauma full on display.
Oh, I
and,
love the scene where like she's watching the bus go.
she's
and,
screaming in
she
the car.
screams and the Michael comes closer.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's good filmmaking. Halloween kills and ends. Sorry.
Yeah, so David Gordon Green ain't that shit, you know.
He got his ego. He got too big.
I mean,
got too
I
big.
don't hate his directing. It's like,
He's got
that's
too
not the
big.
worst part of his filmmaking to me.
He's got too big.
But yeah, I think it's really effective, and I think it's good.
Yeah.
All right, top 3 people.
Top three.
Top three.
Top three.
Whew. And number 3 is Halloween 2, the original.
Bum, 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 bum.
Now, for a long while, this is I think was my most watched Halloween movie. I shout out to my friend Freddie. I remember watching this movie, multiple times with him, and this, the score was just awesome in this movie.
Yeah.
With the whole organs and shit, and
Yeah.
how this one felt like a really Halloween movie because there was stuff with a kid having something
The razor blade
in his mouth, and the soundtrack. I mean, this is where. I mean, this movie is where he says, "I shot him 6 times." I sound like
shot him
Arnold.
7, but
7, but this is a
Yeah,
really
you got the
big
long
bombastic
takes, it's- yeah.
Halloween movie, and it is a bit like Friday the 13th in the way that there's gory kills, not in in 78, but it I didn't mind it. I thought it was good, and I remember just loving this movie. But yeah, do we have negatives we should say, or
it can be a bit slow and boring at sometimes.
Yeah.
Laurie's in the hospital bed most of the time. Halloween Kills got the wrong idea from this movie.
yeah.
It's very horny. At some
A lot
points.
of people say that Michael's a bit robotic in this movie, where he's just kind of
Yeah.
hardly feeling any
Sure.
emotion at all, but
Whatever,
wasn't
dude.
that bad.
Who cares?
I just
Yeah.
like this one. What do you think?
I think it's very solid. It's not one I probably rewatch a whole bunch
Sure.
because it's I watch something, I get the idea, and if I watch it, I'll probably get bored of it.
Yeah.
But as watching it only the few times I have, I feel like it's just very solid and doesn't have as much flaws as the other ones.
Yeah, I think so, and I think. I mean, I've seen a lot already, so I probably won't rewatch it as much as I used to. But this movie just feels like a really good, Michael Myers Halloween movie. I mean, I like how they also add other parts of Halloween. They talk about the festival of Samhain, with Sam Hain, and how Donald Pleasance says it. But I think they also revealed, the brother sister angle, which is what they do for the rest of the franchise. And I know a lot of people aren't a fan of that. I'm not a massive fan of that.
I can tell you it.
But this is an important Halloween movie. I don't think anyone can say it isn't. I think this more than one kind of set the road for the rest of the franchise.
John Carpenter sat down at his typewriter with a 6-pack of beer.
Yeah,
and he wrote it.
Wrote this thing.
Just
Yeah.
wrote it.
But I still,
if this is the product you get from that,
and I loved also that final
good.
sequence as well when Donald Pleasance, Dr. Loomis blows himself
And he
up
misses
with Michael,
Sandman.
and he can't see, and it's
Yeah.
cool. I will say that Laurie's a bit useless in this movie, but that's okay. And I still think there's some cool kills go around, and it's just a cool double feature with the first one.
Yeah.
You could watch these two together. Maybe it's a bit slow paced, but who cares? Number 2 is good, and let's do best kill.
My best kill is the nurse being lifted up by the scalpel.
Yeah,
I just feel like that's such an iconic kill. I feel like there are probably better kills in this movie, but I feel like this one is just so iconic in its presentation, and it's just everyone remembers that kill, and it's brought back in H2O.
yeah.
And
When
is
they
it
pick
brought
up,
back in the reboot franchise? I don't remember.
I don't.
But it's just
think
such
so.
that's the iconic Michael Myers kill of him holding and looking at Laurie.
Yeah.
That's Michael.
Yeah, for me, it's the hot tub one with the nurse. I think that's just such a
dunking,
big,
yeah.
visceral, gory kill. But I also love the shot of the water reflecting on Michael's mask and him pulling her down and she not noticing it, him sucking on his fingers and him not doing anything. That was such a creepy scene, and it's just so visual and gory and sexual that it's probably the most standout kill to me. I also want to mention I do like the kill where Michael's in the shadows and comes in with a needle and stabs a nurse in the eye. Her face, his face reflects in number 1, but I just do like that hot tub one the best. Favorite performance? Donald Pleasance as Dr. Loomis.
Nice.
What about you?
I did. I felt like we were gonna do that, and so I wanted to change it up. I like the guy who has a crush on Laurie. That excited kind of the kid. I just felt like he was a good addition.
Yeah.
He played it well. I saw it behind the scenes, and the actor who plays him was a theater actor. He got his first movie role, and he was playing it over dramatic, and it was it's a unique and a good thing. And I know probably Loomis is probably the best, but think like if I
Yeah.
didn't pick him, I like this guy.
I just had to go like who was the best now.
Yeah.
It's like it's Donald
I
Pleasance.
knew you were gonna do it, so I was like, I'll do.
I mean,
something
he's just
different.
iconic in this, and people can say this is the best him, and I wouldn't fight that. I mean, he's like I shot him 6 times, and he does this huge sacrifice, and he talks about the festival of Samhain, and he's ecstatic. We gotta get Michael. We gotta do this, and yeah.
Oh.
I just think, I think he was good in this one with the material that he had. Now, should we move on to the next
Let's move
one?
on.
Now, before we move on to the next one, I have to apologize. Yeah, we'll zoom in on me. This is not an objective opinion. I mean, the next one, we all know what the best movie of this franchise is. Okay, you can't fight it. It's John Carpenter's Halloween. But I feel connection to another movie, but I'll talk about that later because we should probably just talk about the next one. This is objectively the best one, but we have settled on putting Halloween 1978 as
Second.
the second best of the franchise.
Which makes you know what the first one is, but let's talk about this one.
Let's talk about this one.
It's just
This
it's
is a masterpiece
of
of
suspense.
suspense, masterpiece of the slasher genre.
Mhm.
It's a beautiful shots,
Beautiful
beautiful cinematography by Dean Cundy.
Great filmmaking in this.
Michael is just so amazing in this movie. Best that he is. Best that he is.
Yeah.
Filmed. I mean, I love James Dew Courtney, but this is the spirit of the shape. This is the spirit of
Yeah.
Michael. There's not many flaws with this movie. I mean,
My biggest flaw is that it can sometimes be boring. At like
we'll have to get
if it's slightly just too long, but maybe. But like we
only say that because we've seen this movie
Yeah.
so many times.
like literally like if you rewatch it so many times, you've already seen it, so you know
Yeah.
what's gonna happen. But if it's a first time watch, when I first watched this, Leo can testify. We were watching it on a laptop.
Mhm.
This laptop, I was screaming at the computer like I've never been that involved. I was just like, move, run, you fucking idiot! Like there were a lot of dumb moments that like people doing dumb things in this movie.
Yeah.
But because the characters are so likable, I just don't give a shit. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, Laurie, why are you dropping the knife? Look behind you. When like Michael does his like body
Yeah.
going up, I was so involved. I was yelling at it. I was like so infused into this movie.
It's such a simple and effective tale, and
Yeah.
it's
As a-
it's just masterfully directed. And the another negatives, maybe the acting isn't the best, but we know what this is. We know that
Totally.
this was a small budget film, and with what they did with a small budget of 300,000, I think American, it's amazing what they pulled off. And this really is 100% a classic, 100%. And I putting it at number 2 is not a disservice.
Yeah.
It would be number 1. It would be number
It would
1.
be.
There's just weird circumstances that it's not,
I'll let
and
Leo
I'll
explain.
get to that. And I think it's Louis' favorite in the franchise.
Halloween 1, yeah, it is.
It
but
is.
we had to agree, and I think that there's a lot of merit with the one.
Yeah, he's fine with number 1 being number 1. But this is 100% an amazing like horror movie. It's and I love the concepts of the shape and the boogeyman,
Boogeyman.
and it's such a cool Halloween tale. So many shots in this movie that's amazing.
Yeah.
With that one big wide of Michael carrying the body. That's
Yeah.
just what are you? And the theme. How can we not talk about the theme?
Yeah.
How can we not talk about the soundtrack?
Started it.
I will say, listening to the soundtrack, and this is
It's
my
very
fault.
repetitive.
Listen to the actual soundtrack. They do just play like 3 songs repeatedly, but that's okay. In the context of the movie, amazing, fantastic.
Bing, bong, bong.
It is a brilliant movie. Everyone in this is doing
Great filmmaking.
great filmmaking, great team, 100% objectively the best.
What a like great achievement that this movie was.
Yeah, and I'm so glad
40.
that this
It was
movie
like
existed.
300,000, made 40 million in the box office.
Yeah.
It's one of the highest indie movies ever.
Yeah, I won't say
grossing.
this is the most rewatchable of the franchise to me, but it easily is like probably one of the best.
Yeah.
And before we get into our best one, let's talk about best
Oh, shit.
performance,
Oh, yeah.
best kill.
I'll just do my best kill is Bob.
Bob, me
Bob.
too. Bob.
Just like the whole reveal of
Awesome.
him jumping out of the closet. Is there a big
I think there was.
I think there is. But then after that, it's just silence of him
yeah,
choking.
him
And
looking
then
at
just
what he's doing. Oh,
the
sorry,
stab.
the opening sequence, amazing.
Right.
The reveal of of young Michael Myers being the killer,
Yeah.
amazing. I'm tempted to even give that the best kill, but no, Bob is pretty effective, and
It's
him
like
looking at
and
it.
then looking, and then it's just like stuck, and it's been parodied so many times.
Yeah.
And then the feet going.
But Michael Myers is just such a cool character right from the get-go.
Yeah.
He's such a mysterious
I
character.
love
like,
Michael.
wow.
Michael's
Michael.
great character.
And it's awesome. Oh, wait, no, I'm kind of dressed up as like a Michael. You go with that.
Oh,
Michael.
yeah.
Michael.
Right.
Michael.
Let's justify it.
Justified it. But no, real
Yeah.
really effective, and every kill in this is like so effective, even if there's no blood, which is fantastic. And yeah, favorite performance.
Loomis.
Mine isn't Loomis.
What did I write?
It's
I wrote Loomis.
I put down Jamie Lee Curtis.
Who did you think? Who do you think you wrote?
I actually put down Jamie Lee
Oh,
Curtis.
Yeah, she is really.
I think she's.
Loomis and her are great.
I think that's good that there's both two choices. I mean, I like Dr. Loomis. I don't think he's at his peak though. I mean, there's some bits in the scenes where I feel like he's just receding. I don't feel like he's really acting out the stuff as well as he could be.
Yeah.
But that's no. I mean, he's still amazing. He's great line delivery, perfect Dr. Loomis. But sometimes I just feel it's a bit awkward when I see it. And he's also kind of funny when he's going like, "Hey, you get your ass out of there,
get
Lonnie.
Your ass away from there."
But I think Jamie Lee Curtis was my pick because
Original Scream Queen.
she's that last act where she's running and she's screaming and she's facing Michael Myers was just really effective to me, and that's why
well, not the
she's
original
definitely
Scream Queen, but
definitely my favorite performance.
yeah, I agree with that.
But now we get to our number one.
I'll leave again.
Please forgive us. No, stay.
Okay, I'll stay.
You chose this as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
you
chose it
can't
as
leave
well.
me here.
Mm-hmm.
It's Halloween 3 Season
baby.
of the Witch.
Season of the Witch.
Yeah.
Did you get the bias out of the way first?
Let's get my bias out of the
Get
way.
your bias out of the way first.
I have this connection to this film. I shouldn't have a connection to this film, but I discovered this film when I was like getting really into horror before kind of like the other Halloween movies. First thing I did was listen to the soundtrack of this film, and I was writing like my own kind of television show at the time, like a YouTube series, and I listened to the Halloween soundtrack a lot and fell in love with it. And I will say, that's probably one of the best parts of this film is the soundtrack. And I remember just listening to it and falling in love with it. And then when I watched it, like I'm a big fan of Halloween the event, like the actual day itself. And this felt like the perfect movie for that day. And it felt like such a weird, mysterious kind of story that shouldn't work. Like it mixes like science fiction and old like magic with this really cool new techno like story. And it felt like really interesting and connected to me on this spiritual level. I mean, it sounds really cheesy, but it's true. It connected me to this like childhood innocence of why I love Halloween the event. Mm-hmm. And I like fell in love with this movie, and it's in my like favorite films of all time. And I know it isn't. I know if you put this like at number 8 or something like that, how dare you? But I get that.
Halloween 1 is the best Michael Myers Halloween movie. This is our favorite.
As a separate, because you can treat this as a separate film.
It's its own separate thing.
And that's
we just like this movie better than
and
the
it's
other
so rewatchable. Like
It's
all the
so-
characters are called like the
it's so
Chad.
fun.
I know his
The
name is not the
Chad.
Chad,
I
but
don't
like
care what his
Dr.
name is.
Chalice or something
we
like
called him
that.
like the Chad or
We
something.
call him the Chad, the mustache guy, Tommy Lee Wallace.
he's so
Not Tommy
cool.
Lee. Tommy Lee Wallace? No,
Tommy Lee
that's the
Jenkins.
director.
Leroy Jenkins.
I don't know, but this guy was so badass.
So cool.
And
the
there's just
the premise of it, the creepiness of it.
Yeah.
The atmosphere in this movie.
The shots, man. There's
The
so many
shots
beautiful
are
shots.
so
With the
beautiful.
kids are like walking across like a orange sky.
Yeah.
When there's like that
The threat and the suspense.
that one shot where it's like
Shit,
like a bunch of like animatronic men like in their suits like with like nighttime and light shining behind them was so cool. And this movie is just so like beautiful to me. And this would be a Halloween classic if it wasn't Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Yeah. But like I love this movie so much.
So good.
It just connects to me on this different level. And yes, there are some things wrong with it. I gotta say, there's a certain sequence where like we call him the Chad, the guy with the mustache, the main character, is like fighting his like animatronic girlfriend, and that goes on for way too long, and that's really cheesy. And you could say
His
that
whole
the
situation with his wife as well, and infidelity.
Yeah, and you could
Just
say
it's
you could
kinda
say that the
weird.
ending kind of just comes like
Ever.
randomly when he throws a
I
bunch of
love-
stuff, but I still think that's so cool.
Yeah.
Like
But the actual ending.
I love it. Oh yeah, and the actual ending. When he's like shouting like
So
turn it
suspenseful.
off.
Turn it off.
And it's ambiguous, like you don't know whether they actually turn it
Wanna know
off.
so bad, but I don't want to know.
And it's so cool. And I have to talk about it.
suspense.
Yes. And I have to talk about the score. My God, does it elevate all the scenes. Like, it's so good. I have it on vinyl. It's so good. It's so... Like, I there's times where I just listen to it. Like, because I guess I fell in love with the score before I fell in love with the movie. But it's so good.
Season of the Witch,
like, it's my favorite score of the franchise. Yeah. Probably one of my favorite scores of all time. Not like soundtracks, but like scores. I love it, and it's just like the perfect Halloween movie. And I try to watch it at least once every year. And
Have you seen it this year?
yeah, when I was doing the the Mr. Pumpkin Skelly Bones, I watched not all of it, but like
Okay.
chunks of it.
But we can still watch it this year.
Yeah, I mean, I want to watch it
This is
again.
a movie where you're just like, hey, do you want to watch Halloween?
And to
3?
me, it's the most
Like,
rewatchable
yeah, sure.
of the franchise.
Yeah.
Because you can watch it on its own merits, I guess.
Also, Michael Myers is in it. So
Michael Myers is in it.
He's in it.
To a little bit, and
He's in
that's
the
so
trailer.
cool.
He's in the trailer.
And I just love the idea of like a small Irish town called Santa
They're
Mira.
Irish. They're Irish, but they're not in Ireland.
Yeah, island, like and it's
They're
such
cool,
a
like,
cool,
robots.
weird, like Twin Peaks kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? You know, you don't realize until the very end, and it's just, it just feels so cool. I love this
so
movie.
Creative and it's so cool.
Love this movie.
He loves it, man.
I love it. I love this
How's
movie. I don't even want to get to like what best kill because that means it's over. That means I'm done talking about this movie. But I love it.
We should make a video. Just
One day we'll do a
on
Halloween
this
3
movie.
review.
Not even
Or-
review, just talking.
Just talking about
the
Halloween
movie.
3. But this
should do that.
movie, I mean, please, if you just give this movie a go.
give it
It's
a
on
go.
Stan if you're Australian. I'm sure it's on some other streaming service in other countries. But please, just even watch it without it needing to be a connection to Michael Myers. Because you're going to have to dispense some disbelief. You're going to have to go, this is a bit cheesy, some elements a bit cheesy, but just have fun with it. Because if you're a fan of the Halloween event or just want to have a good time, please watch this movie. Because it's so underrated. There is a cult following, but it's really worth your time. I love this movie so much.
He does love it so much.
Whew. Now we're going to talk about Best Kill. This was hard for me, actually. This was really hard, and I didn't choose the one that I thought I would choose.
What'd you do then?
I originally thought I was going to do the kid with the pumpkin mask on.
Right.
But I chose Marge. Marge is the one that who's
fuck is
picking around with the mask bit and gets like a light shone, like the beam shone into her face, and then she's got this grotesque face.
Yeah, I was
was
in
like,
between both.
that was really cool.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, the other one's more iconic.
Yeah.
But that was like, oh, that's so creepy. And bugs started crawling out of her like broken like mouth. I was like, that is kind of cool.
I was stuck in between those two. I was like, I don't know which one I like more, but I chose the kid because of like the suspense of like what is this? And it's a kid, and it's like the dun 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 dun, and then also the family gets killed as well.
Yeah.
I feel like just the event of that,
And it's
just
such a
watching-
hysterical scene where the family's like laughing with the loud like
Yeah.
beaming, and the dad and not the dad, but the Chad's like, please turn it off, like please stop it, please stop it. And it's like it's such a
So intense.
tense,
Yeah.
horrible scene, and just seeing that Colonel Cochran's just like smiling and just happy with it
That
is
did
such
re-
an
yeah.
intense thing.
That did remind me of a cheesy bit when he threw the hat on the security cam and it landed perfectly.
And that was
That was
cool
a bit-
though.
yeah.
That was cool though.
Actually, no, that's cool.
That's what makes him the Chad. That's what makes him the Chad,
Yeah.
boy.
Now, best actor.
Best actor. Now I'm really tempted to say the Chad, but
I
easily
wrote-
Colonel
I wrote
Cochran. for
Irish
me.
bad guy. I didn't know his name.
Yeah, Colonel
Yeah. Colonel
Conrad
Cochran.
Cochran or something
Colonel
like that.
Cochran.
The way he just delivers lines
He
about like
believes what he's
yeah,
saying.
when he talked about the festival of Samhain and how the hills run red and blood, I was like, oh my gosh,
Oh, so good.
oh you are cool.
Oh,
you know you're cool, but like
you are cool.
that is like
all those kids are about to murder.
yeah.
you know
but
what?
He's such
I'll
a
let you do it.
cool, and to a degree, he's a bit one-dimensional where he just wants to kill a bunch of kids.
Yeah, but it's
but-
for the rituals.
Yeah, it's just really interesting. And also, this movie's so mysterious, but they got a piece of Stonehenge for somehow.
How?
They never really explained it,
Don't
but they
know.
just did.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool. And
I
I
want more
just
movies like this.
yeah, and I don't even want a sequel to this film.
I don't want a sequel, but I want.
People
a
are
movie
talking about like, oh, we should get a sequel, but like, I would see it, of course, because I love Halloween 3. But oh my
or
gosh,
even like a reimagining of it.
yeah, but still, I don't know.
We make it,
maybe.
and it sucks, and everyone hates
I
it.
yeah, I mean,
But
this
then
just
in the-
this
but then in the
film just
future,
feels so
everyone loves it.
special.
And there
Anyway.
are kids like us who watch it in the future and go,
Yeah.
"Man, that's really good."
Yeah, but
Anyway,
Halloween 3. Objectively, probably isn't the best
Fuck
of the
you, it's the
franchise.
best
It's the
one.
best. Screw it. No, that's it.
It's the best.
It's the
one.
best. It gives me the tingles
Gives
and the
him
shingles.
The tingles.
I love this movie. Fuck you. It's the best.
It's the best one.
John Carpenter,
Fuck off.
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
You did the score for this.
He wrote it? Did he write it?
God, we're putting. He did this. No, actually, maybe he co-wrote it. I know he at least did the score. I think he co-wrote it.
He at least he produced it.
He at least produced it. Oh God, if Halloween did more stuff like this, that would have been so cool.
Anyway,
That is our top list. That is yeah, that's that. Now we have to answer the trivia question that we asked last week. And we do that. So, the question we asked you last video was, in Halloween Kills,
Our
during
favorite
this best movie, as you can see,
best movie ever.
when Michael drags, that kill sequence where he goes into the neighbors, I think of no, is it Laurie's neighbors or
Laura's neighbors.
Laurie's neighbors.
Yeah.
And he just got the fuse, stuck it in her neck, stuck in one of the ladies in the lady's neck, and she has to watch her husband die and get stabbed a bunch of times. How many knife stabs or how many knives went into his back? Now we just did a quick count, and I think we're good with this answer.
Got it.
The answer was 4.
4 knives.
4 knives.
5 knives, 4 stabs.
Yeah, he didn't even go for the 5th stab.
Yeah, he just fell.
He picked up a knife and was like, yeah, this will be good.
It's good.
And went out. And, best scene of that movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And,
Halloween 5 or 6 or 4 has the best knife.
Best knife.
I just remember a scene of Michael picking up. I don't remember which one, but he picks a knife and it's such a fucking long knife. But anyway.
Yeah. Also, this episode doesn't have normally we have a sponsor, but our sponsor's last week's sponsor. Yeah. So check out last week's episode. Well, not last week's episode, but last video's episode. Now we have to ask you a trivia question, I guess.
All right.
We're gonna come up with one on the spot.
Do one on the spot.
Louis, I normally do it. You do it.
For the original ending of Halloween Ends, what Easter egg from a previous movie was going to be introduced that was cut from the movie that came out, that was in every script? What Easter egg and big revelation was going to happen that didn't end up being?
It didn't happen,
in
and
the
this
original
is
script?
confirmed because this was from a previous scripts.
Yeah. I'll get up and show Leo after.
Yeah. So what were they gonna seemingly? Is it confirm that this might be connected to? Or just at least an Easter egg too. Anyway, that brings us to an end to this video. Thank you so much for listening. This has probably been a very long one, and we thank you so much to let you listen to our in-depth thoughts. If you have any gripes about our top pick, do let us know in the comments.
Yeah. We have socials. We have Instagram. Twitter. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple. To give us more watches on that. If you can't watch the videos, go listen to them.
But yeah, have a great Halloween. If you're watching this after Halloween, then I hope you had a great Halloween.
So good.
And have a great spooky time. And please watch Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. That's all I got to say. And
have a happy Halloween.
Stop it! So we just did the podcast, and I just realized we didn't display any of the Halloween DVDs that we have. So it's pretty cool. Look at that. A lot of you probably have this at home. Collection. Got the Blumhouses.
This proves how much he loves them.
Yeah, this felt like it needed it because it felt a bit bare our stage, but we have these. We're fans, and we watch the producer's cuts and everything. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the review. So I just wanted to do the little with these. So flex. That's the word. Halloween. Happy Halloween.